everyone, it's Melissa and welcome back to my channel. On today's tutorial, we will be making a necklace with the Jessie James beads Let's Be Mermaid Mix in Splash. I will go ahead and leave a link in the description box so you can order these products. We'll also be using enamel dangle chain in this turquoise and some head pins. The Splash Mix is such a beautiful collection. You have some shell charms, starfish, little mermaid tails, gorgeous mermaid glass in an aqua color. You just get a lot of the charms in here. A couple of the little shells, seashells, some bicones in a milky green color, gorgeous crystals, and then some little gold spacers. Supplies needed for this project. You'll be using a mix of the Splash Mermaid Mix. I'm using these 8mm beads, these 8mm milky glass green beads, mermaid glass, all the charms in the collection minus the mermaid tails, these rondels, these gorgeous starburst beads, some little gold spacers, and then I'm adding in the 6mm check glass green beads. You can go ahead and add in any beads from your collection, or if you wanted to add in a couple more of the mermaid mixes, they have Siren and Coral Queen. We're also going to be using our dangle chain. I'm going to show you a cute little project with this. Let's go ahead and dive in and start creating. This is our dangle chain, and a fun fact about this is they have a lot of different colors on jessiejamesbeads.com. They have a lot of the Pantone colors, and they are two-sided for the drops. They're great for making anklets, just little charm bracelets, and when you double them up, it gives a little bit of a clustered look. Super fun to design with. And you get a really long length of the dangle chain. So for the dangle chain, to get started, go ahead and take your wire cutters or nipper tool. We're going to cut 15 links or little links of this. So we're ending on one that doesn't have a jump ring. For a closer look at the dangle chain, it's got a little solder jump ring between each of the gold bars and then a smaller jump ring that hangs the dangle. So we're going to cut the one that the dangle is on. So we're going to cut 15 of those, and when we end, we want to make sure that we have a bar that's open like that without anything hanging off of it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So we're going to cut this bar right here. Just a little snip. You can kind of just twist it apart and the jump ring will just pop right off. So we're going to have that there, and then we're going to cut a second length. Oops, a little dangle there. And the same thing, we have a bare bar there. Put it on this side and then count out my 15 as well. This one's got a little jump ring on this side, so I think I'll start on this one here and I'll cut the 15. So we're at our 15 and we're just going to cut that little jump ring. As you can see, you have plenty more of the dangle chain to work with for a future project, bracelet, or anklet. So move that off to the side, and a couple extra little links. So we have our 2 links of 15 dangles for the chain. The reason why we wanted the bar like this without a jump ring is we're going to be adding beading wire. I will be using Soft Flex in turquoise. You can use any that you would have on hand. I just chose to use the colored one from Soft Flex because it's going to pair really well with the design. Now we're going to take our nipper tool or our pliers, and we're going to cut off every other one. So we have our center, which will be number 8 for the dangles, and we're going to snip off just the dangle. And that's where our focal charm is going to hang from. And then we're going to leave one and snip the other. Leave and take off. Starting with the 8th one in the middle, snip. And the same thing on this one. You can start at one end if you prefer. I just like to work from the middle. That way I can kind of just play out my design and see how it's going to look. So what I would like to create with my design is we're going to leave one dangle and then add a charm on every other one. So I have this one here for my base. I'm going to leave these 2 dangles here on each side and then cut off these ones and leave the next. So go ahead and do those and I'll meet you back here and we'll continue our project. Now that we have removed all the extra little links, we're going to continue working on our necklace. Go ahead and grab some head pins and we're going to start designing this. So I have my focal shell here, and I have my other little ones. I think I'll put the shells here. Just kind of play around with your design and see what looks best for you. I think that looks cute. And then, of course, we have our mermaid glass. Kind of add that in there as well. Kind of have our design here, and then we're going to take the check glass beads and put them between the 2 links of chain. It's a really pretty little under the sea or walk on the beach necklace. So as you can see, our design is kind of coming along here, and I'll show you how to attach everything. We're going to need some jump rings. We're going to go ahead and attach those to each of our little charms that we have, our little seashell charms. So we're just going to open up that jump ring, twist it. A little bit heavier gauge jump rings than I'm used to working with. There we go. Just slide on our charm and just go ahead and close it back up. Make sure it is completely closed. Then we're just going to add on those additional jump rings to the rest of the charms. Open up the jump ring, and attach, and close. Once we have all the jump rings added on to our necklace, we're going to start to assemble it. Now you might be wondering, we just added all the jump rings, we're going to be adding charms. Why aren't we using eye pins? So I will be showing you a little technique or a little skill that's going to turn your head pin kind of into an eye pin. It'll all work out in your design. So we're going to start and build this. We're going to start with this side here. So we're going to take a head pin, slide on one of our 8mm bicones. We're going to run it through one of the little links that we trimmed off our dangle from. Just going through the first one there. We're going to pick up a check glass bead, a little daisy spacer, and a check glass bead. Then we're going to run it back through that bottom link on the second chain. We're going to use one of these little shiny rondels. And then you're going to make your wrapped loop. And I will be using a one-step looper. What I love using the one-step looper is every loop is exactly the same. So it makes it super easy. You just give it a squeeze and you have your loop just like that. So we have our first little dangle. Kind of did it a little bit backwards, where we started with the head pin and we made our loop, and this is where we're going to go ahead and attach our charms at the end of our necklace. So we're going to do the second one. Then I'm going to be alternating between the mermaid glass and the bicone. So we're going to pick up one of the mermaid glass. We're going to skip that next dangle. We're going to add 2 more of our check glass, put a little daisy spacer in there, and then go through that next one. So your project should look like this, and then we're going to add one of these really shiny rondels and do our wrapped loop again. Let's give it a squeeze and release. Get this all straightened out here. As you can see, your necklace is coming along and you have those beautiful little turquoise dangles in there. It's like a little treasure charm necklace. And we're just going to keep doing the same thing. Oops, I have it backwards. We're just going to keep doing the same thing, and then I'll show you how to attach the charms. So for this one, we're going to be on one of the milky beads. I'm going to slide that on through the opening, put on a crystal, a daisy spacer, and a crystal, and slide it through one of the sparkly rondels, and then just go ahead and make your loop. So for this next one, I'm going to go ahead and add my mermaid glass. Slide it through that first opening. I'm going to add one of my little daisy spacers on, one of these green crackle beads, another daisy spacer, slide it through, and I'm going to add a mermaid glass at the bottom. And I'm just going to do my wrap loop and continue my design. Move that shell out of the way. Take the one-step looper. Just give it a squeeze. The only part that's a little bit of an issue is it does tend to get tangled when you're working on it. There you go. And then you're just going to complete the last three that we have. So we're going to pick up one of the green beads, go through the opening, go through again, add one of these really shiny crystals, little rondels. Alrighty, just like that. Let me take our pliers, give it a squeeze. We have just added on all of our little components, and now we're going to start attaching our charms. Now you want to make sure that each of your loops are completely closed so that it won't open or your charm won't fall off. So I'm going to start with this one here and work my way from the middle outward. Get my charms on there. If you wanted to, I guess you could use this as a bracelet or an anklet. We'll put those on, and then the little starfish on at the end. Get my head pins out of the way. We have just completed our project, and now we're going to be attaching the charms. I'm going to work from the middle outward, so we're just going to open up our jump ring, and you also want to take a closer look at all your loops and make sure that they are completely closed. You wouldn't want them opening and your charm slipping out. So we're just going to slide on that jump ring to the bottom of our head pin. That became our eye pin. Just like that, and make sure it's completely closed, and we're just going to add on the rest of our little embellishment charms. I'm just going to close it back up and then just add on the additional ones. We have just attached all the charms to our beautiful necklace. Now we're going to start working on the rest of it. So you have a couple different options. If you want to just maybe add some chain to it, you would just connect a jump ring to the two. Or if you wanted to do like a wire wrapped link, you could do that as well. And maybe attach some leather, some fairy silk, completely up to you. So I think I have some leftover beads here. So I'm going to string them on my soft flex. I like this here. It just kind of adds a little bit of that sparkle to it. Maybe add this gold bead. Just have to kind of play around with our design and see what looks best. You can also add some of the little dangle links that you cut off and add like little clusters in there if you wanted to. I think that would be really neat. So you can add these in there. Kind of incorporate my little sparkle from my necklace. And the nice thing too about soft flex is you can just let the wire show if you would like. It's just part of the design. We're going to go ahead and grab our beading wire, and I'm using the Beadalon size 2 in gold. I'm also going to be adding in the 2021 Christmas collection in sage. It has some green tones in there, and I think it'll fit in really well with this necklace. And I'll leave a link in the description box for this one as well. It is still available on their website. So we have our 10 inches of the beading wire. Add on 2 tubes, or if you have the beads, that's fine as well. And then go and string on the 2 endings of your chain with the little small part of the beading wire. We're just going to run it back up through the 2 tubes. Just kind of slide them down if needed. And it takes just a little playing with. And as you can see that the soft flex wire is just going to show there and complement the design. We have a little bit of wiggle room there, so it's not so snug that it's going to damage our project. Then we're going to take our pliers and just go and give it a squeeze. Make sure that one goes down just a little bit more. And squeeze. And if you don't like the way that they smash down, you can always add a cover on them. There we go. And then we're going to just start stringing on our beads onto the soft flex. Now we do have a little tail. If you want to trim that, you can, or we can just slide the bead right over it. And I'm going to start by using this big bead here, so that should just slide right over the wire. We'll add on this one here. We'll just keep stringing on our pattern. So I'm going to add these little barrel beads, faceted barrel beads in with a couple of the rondels into the collection, and those are from Sage. And I'm adding in some mother of pearl as well. So I have my gold bead, string on a mother of pearl, one of these barrel beads, a mother of pearl, and then I have my pattern here, so I'm just going to go ahead and follow that and add in a mother of pearl between each bead. Just like that. It's always nice to add in like a little neutral when you have a really sparkly bead or a gemstone bead. Just kind of adds an extra design element. We cut our 10 inches of wire. I'm going to string on our 2 little tubes and then back through the endings of the chain. We run the tail back through and it's going to look like that. A little bit of the wiggle room. I'm just going to smash them down. And then we'll start stringing on our beads. Once you have added the length of beads you would like for your necklace, we're going to attach our clasp. I will be using this toggle bar clasp. It's the same way that we attach the beading wire. We're going to pick up 2 of the tubes and slide them on. Pick up one side of our toggle bar, and then we're just run that little tail back through the beads. I'm going to slide it down there. We'll do the same thing on the other end. Let's give them a smash. And we'll slide on the other 2. Just like that. I'm going to make sure that your spacing is as even to the other side as it can be. Just round these up. And we will just go ahead and trim off the little tails of soft flex. Since it is kind of a large amount of soft flex left over, I'm going to go ahead and save this because I can use it for an earring design. And then just go ahead and trim. And just like that, we have just completed this beautiful necklace. Thank you so much for watching today's tutorial. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe for further content, and have a wonderful day.